Again, Poland popping off. A lot of Polish players are in qualifying matches throughout the entire bracket. It's crazy. It is crazy, but here we go. The predictions are open in the chat. If you're in the chat, place your bets on how you think this series will go. Again, it's a best of 5 qualifying match. The winner of this series will make it into the closed qualifier in a couple of days, but there can be only one. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the Polish Protoss player, the pink Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Polish Protoss player, the purple Polish Protoss player, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Rodzyn. Again, predictions are open. PvP equals Poland versus Poland. True. Very true, Bobby. Very true. Yes, we are here in our PvP, and looks like so far we have mirrored builds. We should be setting up a 2-gate opener from both players, from both ArT and Rodzyn, and then from here we can kind of have a look at how our players want to evolve as this game does progress. Those wondering, there is no ramp coming into the natural base. There's actually a lot of bases that don't have ramps. A lot of naturals that don't have ramps in this map pool. And alas, because of this, it is not safe to go for a gate expand. So we have 2-gate openers all around from both ArT and Rodzyn. And from these 2-gate openers, we can kind of go through a couple of different choices here when it comes to our initial units. We can go double Stalker, we can go double Adept, we can go Stalker Sentry. Each one is either more or less aggressive than the other. Each one has their place. Each starting units. As the probes come in for a scout, confirming that the second pylon is in the main base of both Rodzyn and ArT, so there is no proxy. Both players are now relatively safe and sound when it comes to what they're up against. And we have our units of choice. Rodzyn going for double Adept, ArT going for double Stalker. So Rodzyn's going to be more aggressive. He's going to be moving out across the map, looking to scout, looking to get economic damage done if possible. 2 Adepts do one-shot probes. So again, a much more aggressive opener. Meanwhile, ArT, if the units do meet, ArT will come out on top. These 2 Stalkers, they will win out in a battle, and ideally, ArT is able to find and keep up with these Adepts and shut them down before they can get into a mineral line. So it's going to be double Stalker into double Sentry from ArT. Of course, the Sentries do allow him to scout. They give him access to hallucinations to get a read on what his opponent is up to. Speaking of, Rodzyn doesn't expand. He delays his expansion in favor of a Stargate. And the Adepts, oh, they do slip past. The Adepts, they bypass the Stalkers. They move in towards that natural base. ArT out of position. And the Adepts are moving in. They shade it towards that natural. The wall is a wall. Whew, just in time. And the Adepts are denied access into the main base. The Stalkers are returning back home, looking to collapse on these units. 2 of those Stalkers chasing down the shades. And ArT doesn't commit. He recalls back home, and he barely will save his Adepts. Oh, all right. We had a bit of a back and forth. ArT doesn't lose his workers. Rodzyn doesn't lose his units. Bases are being taken. ArT does have a slightly faster natural. He, of course, has his Stalkers in position, but can he preserve his units? Because now it isn't just Adepts. Now it is also Oracles. As the first Oracle is zooming across the map, a hallucination does confirm this, does get eyes on the natural base and the Stargate as well, so now ArT knows he has to be in position for the Oracle, and he is. At the same time, Adepts are shading towards that main base. The wall is not a wall, and the Adepts, they do make it in, but the army is waiting. 1 probe, 2 probes go down. Can we get a third? Oh, we cannot. As ArT does defend. At the same time, the Oracle tried to slip in, and it looks like it may, but again, there are 3 Stalkers in position. ArT shouldn't lose too much. Oh, he shouldn't. He will lose another probe. So 3 probes for 2 Adepts. I would say a better trade for ArT. Like, these Adepts, I mean, I guess they did kind of run out of value over time, but they were looking for more damage. As the game will settle from here, the Oracle hasn't paid for itself yet. That I can say for certain. As you can see, Rodzyn, his tech is delayed. Because he invested his gas into the Stargate, into the Oracle, it did delay the Twilight Council, the Blink, and +1. As a result, ArT, there's going to be a big window here where ArT does have Blink over his opponent, where he can take advantage of Rodzyn with his Blink Stalker army. And ArT knows that. Again, he scattered earlier with the hallucination. He knows that how late and how behind the Twilight Council is. So we'll see if Rodzyn can keep up. As ArT, he can even go straight into the main. With the hallucination, he has high ground vision, and he does blink straight into the main base. Going for the pylon, going for the production. Gets one, gets two pylons. Does have to be careful, but again, his opponent does not have blink. Oh, ArT does lose a Stalker. He's trying to get a little bit more value out of his units. Again, good control out of ArT as he does escape. Does get two workers. Meanwhile, it looks like the Oracle did escape the bottom right. Oracle's going to be able to threaten the natural. Stalkers, they rotate around, they get eyes on the third base. They don't cancel the third, but they get a pylon. And again, so far, ArT has been getting quite a lot of value. Right, a lot of value so far. Rodzyn now catching up. Not just catching up, remember, sure, now both players have blink, but Rodzyn has a +1. It is his way of coming back in this game. +1 is about to finish. As +1 finishes, +1 starts and begins for ArT. So the quality of Rodzyn army is now going to be greater than that of our Pink Protoss player. But again, ArT still has a shield battery overcharge, and he has the Stalker advantage. So Rodzyn has to be very careful with his movements. Oof. As ArT commits, he takes out 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Good trade here from our Pink Protoss. Behind this, charge is on the way. +1. Oracle coming in here just for a bit of a scout. Doesn't quite get any damage done. It gets 2 workers. Never mind. But both players will back off. Things will settle down from here, and we are going to be taking. As both players, they saturate their third bases, we have a Templar Archives on the way. An Immortal production. So ArT, the quality of his army is getting higher and higher. I mean, I say quality, I should say the composition of ArT's army is becoming higher quality with the addition of Immortals, Archons. The Robo is still just now on the way here for Rodzyn, so no Immortal production, there's no Temple Archive, so no Archons. Rodzyn, he may have +1 and now +2 on the way, but Rodzyn, he's relying on a purely gateway composition for the time being. Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots. And the reality is that Immortals and Archons are good counters to both of those units. The Archons for the Charge Lots and the Immortals for the Blink Stalkers. So again, ArT just refining his forces. Attempting to just chase Rodzyn down. Rodzyn is trying to catch up, but here we go. We have the Prism on the way. ArT, he's going to be pushing out, and he's going to commit. He can now reinforce across the map. There's nothing slowing him down, nothing keeping him at bay, and he does catch up in the upgrades. +1 does kick in. Well, the Archons, sorry, the Zealots, they do charge on forward. But that's what the Archons are here for. And with that, ArT should be able to take a better trade. The Immortals are being focused down. Second Immortal does fall. And Rodzyn, he is barely holding on. Again, the Prism was too late. We needed the War Prism to juggle the units to preserve the Immortals and to reinforce. And ArT just could not. ArT was just a bit premature as he bleeds out even more Stalkers. And this is suddenly more back and forth. That was an expensive loss for ArT. Look at the units lost tab here. He lost 2 Immortals and an Archon. Now Rodzyn is going to be rotating around. He has +2. Starting up +3 immediately. Again, it did feel like ArT, if he had just waited a little bit longer, waited for the War Prism to meet up with the rest of the army, we could have seen a different outcome. Here we go, Rodzyn distracting the main forces, going for a big Zealot Rumba here at the third. But the overcharge is going to keep some of these units alive. 2 probes go down. Ooh, as ArT is chasing down Rodzyn. A rough recall. Rodzyn, he loses a bit too much. Zealot run by being forced back as well. And ArT isn't pushing out yet. He's going to be consolidating his forces. He has a War Prism across the map to harass. But the game is settling down once again. ArT, though, just refining his army even further. Temple Archives is now done. For Rodzyn, he's kind of caught up when it comes to his tech structures. But he's still heavily reliant on charge lots and on stalkers. So in a head-to-head fight, I still have to give it to ArT, depending on the angle of attack, of course. we could still see Rodzyn trade more efficiently here, depending on how they engage. God, that's a lot of zealots. Oh my god. 29 zealots here against the 34 of Rodzyn, as he does reinforce with even more zealots in the end. Here we go, both players at around the same time. Robotics bays are on the way. Disruptors are on the horizon. They're looking to play with their balls, with their disruptors. Purification overs, I should say. It's peak PvP if we can get there. Oh, as the stalkers, they are caught out. Oh, a big blunder from Rodzyn. It's not like he was maxed. It's not like he wanted to throw away units. No, not at all. Rodzyn, he does get caught with his pants down. ArT, now about to max out himself. And here we go. ArT's going to be just rotating around. There's still quite a choke point to take advantage of. We have cannons and shield batteries. Rodzyn, he can potentially take a fight here, but he is zoned away from his own corner base. As ArT rotates around, going for that Nexus. Overcharge is pop, but it's not really supporting anything. Really awkward positioning there for that shield battery. Oh, and the zealots, they're just gonna melt. The Archons, they go ham on the army. The disruptor arrives. Nova goes off. Decent Nova. But we need more than just one purification Nova. The disruptor, it goes down instantly. Good target firing there from ArT. As the Archons are breaking through, but the stalkers go down. ArT just has too much. He takes control of this Nexus, and Rodzyn has to give it up. Nexus goes down, and ArT, he knows that he has momentum. He knows that he doesn't have to stop. He can keep pushing. He's gonna leave a zealot behind, rotating around, getting into his own disruptor production. Blink is on the way for DTs. ArT is gonna just calm down. Ease off the gas. Wait for disruptors. He's done well for himself. I mean, ArT, he's up 40 supply. Now, the reality is that I have to be careful here because this is a PvP, and if Rodzyn connects with 2 good Novas, he can take a fight. Like, it, even being down in army supply, if he's somehow able to outposition and outcontrol ArT, it's possible. Disruptors, they are the great equalizer. They can make or break a fight. But not like this. Oof. As one disruptor goes down for free for one stalker. At the same time as Rodzyn is being distracted here on the left-hand side, we see ArT pushing in on the right. Going straight for the Nexus, forcing a recall. And ArT commits. Uh-oh. I'm not too sure about this. ArT's potentially overextending a little bit, losing an Archon. At the same time, Rodzyn does leave plenty back at home to defend. As DTs are warped in, it looks like ArT did take a Nova to the face. And Rodzyn, he's holding. He is holding on despite being down in supply. The gaps are, again, evening up. Good Nova here from Rodzyn, once again taking down 3 of those Archons. 4 Archons, oh my god. ArT bleeding out a lot here. Gonna try and push through the center. Nova's going off as well. There are 3 Novas left. Now 2. Now 1. ArT is going to back off. DTs, they do wreak havoc, though, in the 3rd base. Creating an opening. The Novas, oh, do not quite connect. But Rodzyn's being zoned away. He loses his entire mineral line and a disruptor. Looks like, though, the DTs are cleaned up. And Rodzyn could try and collapse on this. Oh my god, he's going for the surround! Oh my god, big connections on the disruptors, and ArT, has he overextended? The Novas, they are going to be popping off at the last. They also connect in favor of ArT as well. But he's being chased down, he's losing almost everything. And Rodzyn getting out of control. No more disruptors left, no more Novas. Do have a DT counterattack. Oh, it barely takes down the cannon. No detection. Rodzyn has to turn around to deal with this. But for the first time in a long time, for the first time in like, what, 10 minutes? Rodzyn is up in supply. He was trading better. He was connecting with his disruptors. Had a good surround, had a good engagement. And now ArT is on the back foot. But here we go. The disruptors, they come in. Oof. Nova's going off for both players. Rodzyn loses a disruptor, loses an Archon as well. Zealot Runway did distract him. And again, this is still on a knife's edge. This could still go either way. Colossus in, oh my god. Colossi, let's go. Colossi, they have their place. They can help against Zealots, for example. And we do have a lot of Zealots here for Rodzyn. ArT does, oh god no! ArT does rotate around, almost some friendly fire, takes out one of his own stalkers. Not like this. Be careful, Papi, be careful. Accidentally boxing the Nova. Rodzyn just waiting for the moment to collapse on this army. At the same time, another DT counterattack takes down 9 workers. ArT is gaining ground. Yeah, he takes down the Nexus. Pushes on forward, zones away the army. But doesn't quite get into the mineral line. He wants to, though. There's another DT run by here on the left-hand side. Again, Rodzyn, he's just having a really hard time keeping up. Just the constant Novas. We just can't push in. How do we engage? We don't engage. One after another, the Novas, they go off. Rodzyn being zoned away time and time again. Friendly fire as well, taking down his own Zealots. And Rodzyn, he did an amazing job coming back in this game. He catches a Colossus as well. But recently, he's just been taking too many losses here. He lost the base on the right-hand side. He lost the mineral line as well. DTs, they come back with a vengeance, taking down even more probes. Oh. Oh my god, and the Novas, they connect, and they're just too much. GG gets called. ArT does take game number 1. And that was only game 1. GG, well played. ArT takes the lead in this series, but that was not an easy game. That was back and forth. For a long time, ArT was in the driver's seat. He was ahead. And then Rodzyn was able to get a beautiful surround on the army, collapse on ArT. Suddenly, he was the one with momentum. He was the one just in the driver's seat. But over the course of that game, it was really the DTs. I feel like we have to give a lot of respect here to the harassment even of ArT, going for DT run by Zealots, Blink Stalkers. He was successfully pulling Rodzyn apart, pulling apart his attention and getting damage done. The main armies weren't really able to clash too often, but the economy of Rodzyn was being crippled, and as he was splitting up his forces to defend, that's where ArT was able to take advantage of Rodzyn and take advantage of his army positioning. GG, well played. Oh, that was quite a game. That was quite a game 1. And we'll see how things go here in game number 2. PvP, pink versus purple. Yeah, let's go. The best Protoss colors, Poppy. The best colors. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have our purple Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes down in this series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. It is Rodzyn. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. Oh boy, and again, that was a back and forth game. Even though ArT had a stronger start compared to Rodzyn, it still did come down to the wire. And as a result, it's I feel difficult to predict how this series will go. Coming into it, I did give the edge to ArT. I do feel like ArT is a more accomplished player over the course of his career, but Rodzyn is clearly no slouch, and in the PvP, anything can happen. Anything can happen. As we do see just some pretty standard openers. We mentioned it before, but a lot of the new maps in the new map pool actually don't have ramps coming into the natural, so 2-gate openers all around is expected in a lot of these PvPs. No economic openers out of our players. So once again, we get to play our favorite game. Which 2 units come out? Which 2 units? Well, after game 1, let's say double Stalker from Rodzyn, and let's say Stalker Sentry from ArT. Let's find out. I usually play it with Asher, but Asher's not here. There we go. Double Stalker. So far, we got one right. Stalker Sentry. Oh, close. Stalker Adept. Similar mindset. So with this, ArT, he's going to be looking for some scouting information. He's got one Stalker to defend. He's going to have an Adept to move out across the map. Again, a singular Adept isn't really going to do too much economic damage. It's just looking for scouting information with the Shade, with the Adept itself, as is going to be a little bit more maneuverable out on the map. Ooh, oh my god. As behind this, ArT, he delays the expansion and he goes for a Stargate. Now, Equilibrium is, or does have a short rush distance by air. Very short by air, so ArT wants to take advantage of that, but the scout comes in. Rodzyn, he does spot the Stargate. He sees, he knows. Did he click on it? That becomes the next question. Did Rodzyn actually pay attention to what his unit scouted? Oh my god. Oh, let's go. As we also have gold bases and both players are in position. The Adept will confirm, but Rodzyn, he gets down the Nexus. At the same time, ArT should also be looking to get his own gold base. Well, it's beautiful. Gold versus gold. And the Adept does match the Shade away. A couple of Stalkers are moving out as well. Looks like ArT wants to be initially the aggressor. He does have an abundance of units. He is currently ahead here with 3 Stalkers and 1 Adept. He could go straight for the gold, but he knows that these Stalkers are tied up and he's going for the main. Oh my god. Bold move here. A bold move from ArT. He does Shade into said main base. He's going to get 1 probe. He gets a 2nd. And even a 3rd worker. And meanwhile, at the same time, the Oracle does dive in. We do also have ArT trying to apply pressure here to the gold base, and he will come out ahead. He does get a Stalker. Takes down 1 Stalker before backing off. Overall, really good trades here from ArT, pulling Rodzyn apart. Behind this, ArT, he has a worker lead. He's throwing down additional gateways, working on his own Twilight Council transition. And now we can see the roles reversed a little bit, where if you remember the last game, there was a big window where ArT had Blink and his opponent didn't, and ArT was able to take advantage of Rodzyn for some time until things evened up. Now it's the opposite. Now Rodzyn, because he didn't go for a Stargate, he has the faster Blink. Blink is already on the way. ArT is still working on his own Twilight Council. So Rodzyn could try to flex this, could try to take advantage of this and get damage done. We'll see if he can overcome the control of ArT. Oh, as the Stalkers move out, the mineral line is exposed, and we have 2 Oracles looking to punish these probes. 2 Oracles, they one-shot probes. 1, 2, 3 workers go down, and we're going to get even more. As Rodzyn was caught completely out of position, every single worker falls. Oh my god, 3 probes survive. And yeah, Rodzyn, he was just expecting a ground assault. He just had forgotten about said Oracles. He was focusing on defense back in the main base, but not here at the gold, and Rodzyn was caught with his pants down, forced to recall to the gold base to resaturate. But a strong start for ArT once again. He's up in workers, up in economy. As a result, he is up in Stalkers as well. A couple of workers will go down. Again, this is the difficult thing about this gold base. As we saw across the map, and even as we're seeing here, this gold base is very vulnerable. You can be attacked from all angles, actually. There's high ground right next to it as well, so if we have any siege units, we can take advantage of that with tanks, for example, in other matchups. But it's very difficult to defend, but alas, ArT is able to force Rodzyn back. GG gets called. It's too much of a deficit, and ArT will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Oh. GG, well played, ArT. 1 game away from qualifying to the closed qualifier. As amazing and as back and forth as game 1 was, here in game 2, this was a lot more cut and dry. This was ArT just taking advantage of Rodzyn, pulling him apart left and right, and just, yeah, crippling the economy of Rodzyn, not allowing him to actually take advantage of that gold, whereas ArT was taking full advantage of his own. And with that, ArT is 1 game away. Meanwhile, Rodzyn is up against the wall. He has to fight back here and now to try to force the ace match. It's going to be a rough road, an uphill battle for Rodzyn. A road that he can walk, but it's not an easy road, nonetheless. Oh. Stalker attempts. What can you do? What can we do, Papi? And we got it half right. Remember, we did call the double Stalker of Rodzyn. But now we can play the game again. We can play the game once again here as we load into game number 3 on Alkyone. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our pink Polish Protoss player up 2-0 in this best of 5. Needs 1 more uno mas to qualify for the closed qualifiers, which is in a couple of days. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is ArT. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Polish Protoss player, representing also the Platinum Heroes, as this is a team kill. It is Rodzyn. He needs to fight back here and now. This is it. This is his moment. And again, game 1 was so close. Game 1 was so back and forth. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It's all that you want in a PvP. Again, game 2, less so. Game 2 was ArT getting upset. And oh my, okay, we're good. He's just scouting, Pipe. He's just scouting. We do have a double gate opener. We did have double gases being taken. 2 gate openers all around, and just like all the other maps that we've casted so far, no ramp coming into the natural base, which means no greedy opener. As I say that, Rodzyn, Papi, we are once again going for the gold. Or are we? Wait. No, we're rallied across. We're going for a proxy, and we are scattered. RTCs. He's like, mate, someone's been here. He knows the minerals have been mined out. He knows that there is a probe out on this side of the map. He doesn't know what it's doing. He doesn't know where it is, but he knows it's here. Oh my god. Investigator ArT. Let's go. Yeah, and he will be checking as he comes in with another probe. He gets a full scout. He confirms that a pylon is missing, and he will come across the proxy Stargate. Ay, 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 already. Stalkers are on the way, and ArT is going to be looking to depower this Stargate. Back at home, double Stalker all around. Again, Rodzyn wants to be aggressive, but I don't know how aggressive he really can be. As with the defense's advantage, like ArT, his reinforcements, his Stalkers, they just hit first. They're just closer. They're closer to the proxy. And Rodzyn is just too far away as he's trying to race his way across the map to support his proxy location. ArT actually gonna try and... okay, I was like, is he gonna try and attack from the other side of the wall? He's not going for it in the end. He's gonna back up. Likewise, Rodzyn actually mining through the center of the map as well. But he will preserve this proxy. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have... oh, actually, Rodzyn, he's abandoning it. Crazy. Actually crazy. Rodzyn, he goes for a Twilight Council. He's not using this proxy at all. It was a big investment, but because it got scouted, he doesn't quite believe in it, so he's shifting gears into Blink. He's still on one base. ArT takes an expansion. As we have another proxy on the map. All the pylons. This is looking like a one base all-in from Rodzyn. The pylon is exposed, and it will thankfully stand strong. But we have 3 gateways here at home, and we should be getting a proxy 4th gateway across the map. So this is looking like 4 gate Blink Stalker, 1 base all in from Rodzyn. It's all or nothing from our purple Protoss player, and for the most part, ArT knows. There we go. 2 shield batteries are on the way. He sees the lack of expansion. He confirmed the lack of gold. Did he see the 3 gateways? He didn't see the 3 gateways in the main, but again, he's still piecing this together. Defensive Robo on the way. Robo follow-ups here are just beautiful defensively. Like, with fast Immortals, how can you be broken? How can you be broken here with Blink Stalkers? There it is. Immortal is on the way. ArT taking all the correct steps here to defend. Now, he doesn't know where the proxy is. He doesn't know where the attack will come from. He is still in the dark. He's going to be checking here. He's going to be making sure that the gold hasn't been taken either. A good move, to be honest. We need to make sure that, of course, Rodzyn isn't catching him off guard with a ninja base. And Rodzyn, he's got a lot of Stalkers. Double the Stalker count of ArT. Was ArT too greedy? As we have more than enough to one-shot. Good force fields. The first Immortal has arrived. ArT is only on 2 gateways. He can only warp in 2 Stalkers at a time. And we dive on the Immortal. Overcharge. Too late. The boys have to be pulled. ArT barely holding on. But Rodzyn, he's snowballing out of control. Rodzyn can still pull off this all-in. Again, ArT, he's having a hard time keeping up. But he invested quite a lot here into his economy. And he's being forced back. Shield battery will go down. Another Immortal does arrive. Oh, the shields are triggered. Rodzyn, he dives in once again. Goes straight for the Immortal. 3 shots it. Oh my god, but the Immortal survives. Oh my god, the Immortal barely does survive. ArT holds. Bit of miscontrol out of Rodzyn. He was not able to kill that Immortal. And just like that, Rodzyn, he's in a really rough position. He has to commit once again. The shield battery will finish. The boys are being pulled. We're down to 4 Stalkers remaining here for ArT. Down to 3 Stalkers. But the Immortals, they keep coming out just in time. He's barely holding. He's got a second pylon just to make sure nothing gets depowered. 3rd shield battery on the way. Looking at the units tab, Rodzyn, he's only up 4 Stalkers. And now we have Adepts on the way. Rodzyn is going to try to cripple the economy of his opponent and try to slip in with some of these Glaive Adepts or some of these Adepts. He does force ArT out of position. Shield batteries are going down. But now we have 2 Immortals, and with 2 Immortals, like, we're not going to break this position. It's not happening. No, the wall! The wall is not a wall. The adepts, they shade in. Probes are going down. Rodzyn is getting damage done. ArT knows he can't commit with everything. He does pull back with some of his army. Now, thankfully, ArT can afford to lose some units, and yeah, we do commit to the shit. We do commit to the blink, but ArT holds on. Another warping of Stalkers. The Immortal count getting higher and higher, and this is looking bleak for Rodzyn. Initially, he was getting damage done, but GG gets called. He has run out of time, run out of everything there, and GG ArT is going to be advancing on and qualifying for the closed qualifier. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to ArT. My condolences to Rodzyn. Again, we had such a strong start to the series, a very back and forth game 1. But in game number 2, we saw ArT just really flex his multitasking, really flex his just ability to out-control his opponents. Here in game 3, really on point scouting out of ArT, able to get a read on what was going on, come across the proxy, and force Rodzyn to switch gears into an all-in. And ArT was just reading Rodzyn like a book, again, throwing down shield batteries, going for a robo, going for Immortals. There was a moment in that all-in where it looked like maybe Rodzyn would be able to break ArT. But that moment came and went. You know, it was a very small window that he could take advantage of, and he barely wasn't able to pull it off in the end. GG, well played. Congratulations to ArT. Congratulations. Oh. And with that, we have our first qualified player on this channel. The first of many, as we do quickly have a look at the bracket and try to catch up with everything that's been going on and potentially try to catch another series. Let's see if we can figure things out.